welcome back. You're in the Gangsta Goodies kitchen with your favorite cooking show host. What's up, y'all? I got a treat. I know y'all say, she say that every week, but I do. Every week I have a treat. This week's episode is with an amazing young attorney professional here in Kansas City. I cannot wait for y'all to meet her and for her to tell you all about the work she's doing, not just with adults in the legal field, but also with our youth, y'all. Because if we don't set the tone for our youth, who's gonna set the tone, right? Nobody. So it is up to us. And I've got an amazing recipe. It's quick, it's easy. We are making salmon smash burgers, y'all. I know, right? Stay tuned.
Hey, my name is Attorney Natasha Scruggs. I'm with the law offices of Roderick C, and I'm right here in the Gangsta Goodies kitchen, ready to start this great recipe.
Hey, y'all, welcome back. You're in the Gangsta Goodies kitchen with our special guest,
Natasha Scruggs.
Yes! Thank you so much for coming today.
Thank you for having me. I'm really happy to be here.
I'm glad that you could come. I know the weather kind of had us to reschedule stuff.
Absolutely. We had a weird blizzard in Kansas City.
I know, like what?
I don't know what that was. And it was colder the next week after the blizzard.
Yes. I want you guys to take a closer look at Attorney Natasha Scruggs doing what she does in the community. So take a look, y'all.
Just a system is like the answer to a question that I had for a long time. When I was in college, I started to study criminal justice. And then when I got to law school, I started to intern in juvenile justice courts. It was all basically trying to figure out why were things happening? Why was school to prison pipeline happening? Why was police brutality happening? And the answer came that we need to focus on students. We need to focus on the youth and focus on prevention. So 2 weeks after I graduated law school, I founded Just a System Incorporated. They basically are provided a gap filler. So we're filling the gaps between the education system and the justice system. And we built a new pipeline that's making the school to prison pipeline obsolete. We do this by helping students who were previously disadvantaged become advantaged and have a streamlined pipeline to law school. We use sports organizations, we use CEOs of sports teams, we use judges to basically mentor these students and to have them working with these teams ahead of time so that by the time they get to college, they are on a fast track to law school.
I know, right? Okay, so you see a little bit of the work she does. And today we're going to make salmon smash burgers, right? So I know many of us are thinking about, you know, food and the impact that food has on our bodies and, you know, how can we eat more healthy?
Absolutely.
You know, and is it, I'm just a firm believer, you can't just throw out the baby with the bathwater.
Yeah.
You know, it's baby steps.
Yeah.
You know,
I need baby steps.
Yeah, me too. Me too, honey. I'm like, look at here. And because I love food. So I'm like, wait a minute. You mean I can't have French fries every day?
Yes.
My doctor said, no, you can have potatoes, one serving of potatoes a week.
A week. Listen, I need to get on. I have PCOS, so I have certain dietary restrictions that I'm actually trying to start following.
Yes.
And I have a history. People in my family have had so many ailments.
Yes.
And I'm only 34, but I really, really need to get more serious about that.
Yes, absolutely.
So I'm just happy about the messaging.
Yes.
Because it's so true.
And this can be so good. You know,
I think a
lot of times we think healthier food options just don't have no flavor.
Yeah.
And it's not true.
That's not true.
It's not true at all. And baby steps.
It just takes a little bit more quality time.
It does.
And planning.
And planning. That's
That's my biggest thing, planning. So I love how you plan everything.
Yes.
And then cook.
And then cook it. Absolutely. So y'all take a closer look at the ingredients for today. I just took fresh salmon and I sliced it really thin on the diagonal. Okay. And then I flipped that diagonal this way and went that way. So then it is kind of like little bitty small chunks. And I want y'all to see really up close what that looks like. So you see how those little chunks of salmon, and that's what we're gonna use to make our salmon smash burger. So, Natasha, tell us, where are you from?
I'm from St. Louis, Missouri, born and raised.
Okay, she from the Lou, y'all.
Definitely.
Okay, okay. And so, what brought you to Kansas City?
You know what? I went to school at Missouri Southern State University in Joplin.
Okay.
I met a lot of people there.
Okay.
And some of the people that I met there lived here.
Okay.
And it was actually like a series of situations that happened when I went into law school.
Okay.
And then when I graduated, and my mom ended up getting sick.
Okay.
And so that's another reason why health and food is important to me.
Yes.
Because I had to come back to Missouri after that.
Yes.
And so it's a long story. I don't know if we can get into it, but basically just a support system here in Kansas City.
Absolutely.
I had a great support system. I still have that.
Awesome.
And so Kansas City has really been a home to me for the last 9 years.
I love it.
And I feel like the city and the community just embraced me.
Yes.
As a new attorney, someone they didn't know.
Absolutely.
And I've been able to help so many people.
Yes.
Also with my nonprofit, been able to help people with that too. So I love the community here.
I love it. I always tell people that I think Kansas City is one of the best kept secrets in this country.
I agree.
Because it's small enough, you know, where you do get a really great support system.
Yeah.
You know, and as far as African Americans, we are only 1 degree of separation. You know, and that is huge. You know, when you're doing the work that you're doing, that I'm doing, you know, we can pick up the phone and say, hey, I'm trying to reach so-and-so.
Oh, yeah. We can get
them. Yeah.
We can have a meeting.
Yes. And that is so valuable, you know, and so welcome to Kansas City.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So we're going to get into this recipe, y'all. And so you've seen the ingredients there. It's not a whole lot, very simple. And so Natasha, if you wouldn't mind cracking that egg and then putting it in that little bowl and then just kind of beating it a little bit with your fork.
Okay.
And then you guys, we're going to use, and this is the first time I've used this, so we'll see what it tastes like. Okay. I'm sure it's good because it's Auntie Tab, right? And so it's burger business. It's salt-free, okay? Important. Now, very important. And the other thing is that fish already has a lot of natural sodium in it.
Right.
So we don't need that. So this is just going to be all spices and herbs, y'all. Okay? And we are going to use the whole packet, because we want the flavor there.
That's good.
Yes, we want the flavor.
It already smells good, so I'm pretty sure it's good.
Ooh, it does. Can you smell that? Like
I'm going to have to start using this. I've never used this before.
I haven't used this one either. There's a couple of the other ones that I have used. And so we're just going to start that out. Now we're going to put the egg inside of, there we go. And then I'm just going to use this and we're just going to kind of fold it in.
Okay.
And so, if you guys want to see what this looks like a little bit, I'm going to put the rest of that seasoning. And then we're going to also put a little bit of flour. And so the egg and the flour is to help bind it, you know?
To make it a burger.
To make it a burger, yes. Because there's no fat in the salmon to keep it bound together if we don't do that.
Oh, that makes perfect sense.
Yes. And so we're going to add the rest of the seasoning. And sprinkle a little bit of flour in there. We won't need that much. And you could use breadcrumbs, you know. Okay. If you don't want to use flour, breadcrumbs are going to do the same thing for us. I am going to heat this up. Heat this skillet up. You can use a griddle, you guys, or y'all know I love a cast iron skillet, and so I cook probably everything in a cast iron skillet.
What's the thing about the cast iron that makes the difference?
So a cast iron really is the original nonstick. If you take care of that cast iron skillet correctly, it is the original nonstick. Yes. Wow. And it's going to give you a very even heat. Okay. You know, because of the material. You know, some materials are going to cook faster than others. This is going to be a steady even heat.
Okay.
And that's one of the reasons why I love a cast iron skillet. And so you see, there's not really a lot of oil in there,
right?
Because we don't need that.
Okay.
You know, we put just maybe a capful in there, and that's all we need.
Excellent.
And so now I am going to just put some of this in my hand and make like a little ball.
Okay.
Now, you guys, even though I chop this up with my hand, you could, if you want a finer chop it up in your food processor. Okay, and so that just wasn't the road that I wanted to go. So that's why I did it like this. And see, it's just a nice even ball. Okay, and that's not quite hot enough for us yet. So, Natasha, what inspired you to become an attorney?
My grandpa went to law school in the 70s, and so he always had us reading encyclopedias and law books and things like that. So I grew up in my grandparents' house for a couple years because my mom was 18 when she had me.
Okay.
We already had my brother. My brother's 19 months older.
Okay.
And so my mom and dad were married while she was living at home.
Yes.
And so he and she and us were all in the house.
I love it.
So we kind of have like an old soul because we always around grandma and grandpa.
Yes.
Mom went to college at the junior college up the street.
Yes.
Got 2 associate's degrees. So during that time, we spent a lot of time with grandpa and grandma.
Yes.
So
yes.
I'm kind of made in their image a little bit.
I love that. I say that about my grandmother. I didn't live with her, but my grandmother was adamant about me being educated.
Oh yeah, that was the main thing.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think that my grandma wanted me to be like the opposite of her, even though she went to college, but she had to learn how to cook and clean at a very young age in a certain format.
Yes.
Because she grew up in Byhalia, Mississippi.
Okay.
On over 100 acres of land.
Yes.
And they had to tend to the land. They had to tend to the chickens, pick cotton, pick the vegetables. So I kind of was only in the books. That's where they pretty much had me at.
Yes. My mother was like that to a degree too. I mean, although I was in the kitchen with her, she's like, look, you got your whole life to learn how to do this.
Yeah.
What I want you to do is pay attention to what's going on in those books.
Yeah.
You know?
It was the books.
It was the books. Yes. And so I put the salmon in the skillet, and now I'm going to use the spatula to smash it down.
Okay.
I know I have a burger press around here somewhere. I just can't remember where it was. Where I put it at? Okay. So we're going to let that cook for like 1 to 2 minutes. And then we're going to flip it and let it cook some more. And so that, because the other thing by cutting it up in these little bitty chunks, it's going to cook faster.
Oh, that's good.
Yes. And it only takes salmon about 10 minutes, really.
Yeah.
5 minutes on each side, depending on how you like it cooked. Y'all see that? Woo! Look at that. Wow. Isn't that pretty?
It looks good.
It does. Yes. And then we're going to dress these with, we're going to make like a sriracha mayo. And then we'll have lettuce and tomato on it, on a toasted brioche bun.
Love me some tomato.
Yes. So if you take the mayo and the sriracha and you can just put a little bit at a time. Mix that in. Mix the sriracha, in with
a little bit at a time?
Yes.
Okay.
Now, do you like spicy or a little bit?
A little bit.
Okay. So then that might be all that we need.
Okay. I love aioli.
Yes.
Is that what it is?
That's what this is. This is a sriracha aioli.
That's excellent.
Absolutely. So you guys see how simple and easy that is.
That is easy.
Yep. And you control the heat. Okay. We're going to have these burgers ready, y'all, and then we're going to sit down and we're going to have a conversation over these smash burgers with Attorney Natasha Scruggs. We'll be right back, y'all. So you have your bun, and then you have your lettuce, tomato, your aioli, and then your smash burger.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
Everything is so fresh.
Yes,
first
it
of all.
is.
That's why I can just smell every single piece.
Yes.
Okay.
And there's your aioli.
Aioli. Okay. So I'll get my smash burger.
Yes.
Oh, do I need to put the aioli first?
You can.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me hold off on that.
Yes.
I just put a little bit on there.
Yes.
Looks so good.
Yes. Okay.
I kind of want some more aioli, but I'm gonna wait.
Yeah, go ahead.
Just put a little bit on the top bun?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely. Yes. I'm a mayo aioli kind of girl, so.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
There you go.
Ooh, look at my burger.
I know.
Wow, I can't
yes.
believe I helped make this.
Yes. And you see how easy it was?
It really was.
It wasn't a whole lot, you know. It
I was
doesn't.
definitely a little intimidated when you said we're gonna do the salmon. I'm like, I just don't want to mess it up. But
Yes.
I just had to do my part. You did your part.
Yes.
And it was easy. I could do that at home.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Yes.
Yes. Teamwork makes the dream work.
She said she got the fresh onions, honey.
Yes.
She said they not.
That's one of the reasons I love the summer and the spring too, is because you can, everything is fresh, all your veggies and all of that.
Yeah.
And just for all recipes, I'm gonna put 2 right here, and then I'm gonna take it off. And I want you to take, are you taking pictures? Okay. Yay! Let's see what it tastes like.
All right. It's so good.
Mm-hmm. I think I need a little more of this.
Aioli?
Mm-hmm. You probably need a little more too.
Yeah, I like it. It's really good.
Mm-hmm. There we go.
I like that seasoning from Tab.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Auntie Tab, we like that burger business seasoning.
Yeah, that's good.
Perfect on these salmon.
On the salmon. And I would never think to put it on salmon.
When you make these, and we hope that you do try these. You know, it's simple, it's easy. You can get your kids, you know, your hubby, your wife in the kitchen with y'all and make this meal happen and sit down and talk. You know, connect with each other, find out what's going on, you know?
Yeah.
Because that's so important. Healthy, y'all remember, healthy families equal healthy communities. You know, we can't have a healthy community if our families aren't healthy. You know, so it all starts, you know how they say everything starts in the home.
Yeah.
Everything starts in the home.
Do
You
you
got
think
just
we-
a little bit
oh.
right here. Yes, there you go.
I was worried about that. I'm like, I don't eat pretty.
Look, only because of this camera, okay? And you were going to ask a question too. I'm sorry.
Do you think that sitting down eating as a family is like a lost thing right now?
It definitely is. It definitely is. I think that as families, and part of it is out of necessity. You know, mom and dad, you know, are both working, coming and going, you know, and then, you know, the kids and their activities and, you know, we just live such a very fast-paced life.
Yeah, because I feel like when we benefited as a society from convenience, fast food, fast this, fast that, then we were hurt by the detriments of
Yes, absolutely.
There's a negative side to it.
Absolutely.
The families don't look the same as they used to.
They don't.
Not even in the 70s or the
No.
80s. This is not this is not the lifestyle that they had.
No, it's not. You know, and even though Natasha, my mother was a single mom, she was an LPN. She worked 10,
My mom was an RN.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, yes. She worked 10, 12-hour shifts.
My mom worked 16-hour shifts.
But we always had home-cooked meals. We rarely went out to eat.
That's what I'm saying. We gotta figure out a way to bring that back.
Yes, yes, yes.
Wow. My mom used to make the salmon
Croquettes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But it was kind of like a burger too.
It is.
But she used to do it from like the canned salmon.
Yeah.
And
That's how they did it then.
And if she didn't do that, I would have thought salmon is nasty when I was a kid. But I love those burgers when she used to make those.
Yeah.
So
they would chop up the onion and the green bell peppers really fine. They were good. Yes. And tell us the name of your nonprofit organization.
Just Us System.
Just Us System. I love that. I love it. I love it. And so tell us, you know, first of all, where the inspiration came from and what's the mission? What actually is the work that you do in your nonprofit organization?
Okay. I'm gonna take a sip.
Yes. Just Us System. And we'll make sure we put up, you know, all of your socials and your website and all of that so people can go and take a look.
I appreciate that.
Yes.
You know, I was kind of like idealistic as a kid, and I told you that my grandpa went to law school.
Yes.
So I pretty much grew up knowing that I was going to be successful.
Yes.
What I didn't understand was the backgrounds of the kids that were going to school with me.
Yes.
And the backgrounds of the people that were outside kind of doing stuff that was against the law.
Yes.
So I grew up wanting to help people.
Yes.
And my grandpa was a social worker. He has his master's degree in social work.
Okay.
And so that fed into the law school. So I'm kind of coming from a legal plus social work lens.
Yes.
And that's like the foundation.
I love it.
Of
yes.
Justice. In St. Louis, we have police brutality. We have mass incarceration. We have poverty. We have school to prison pipeline. So we have all these issues that me as a 15, 16-year-old, I wanted to help solve.
Yes.
So when I went to law school, I majored in criminal justice in college.
Okay.
So I learned every single criminal justice system in the world. And that's when I realized our system is not the end all be all. It's just one system.
Yes.
A lot of people think that just because something is going a certain way that it needs to keep going
that way. Yes.
And when I saw, this is one version of the system that is based on, you know, some old England system that somebody made up, that somebody thought made sense. That's why all of our terms are mostly Latin. And then we have, you know, these bail, these concepts. These are based on old concepts. And then when I looked and researched, I'm like, okay, this is not the only way. When I went to law school, my very first internship, I went back to St. Louis and I worked at a juvenile detention court. When I saw 8-year-olds in handcuffs, because most people don't understand, juvenile court is 8 to 17. And it used to be 8 to 16 because it used to be when you were 17, you were considered an adult. But in 2022, our Congress changed it and made it so that 17-year-olds were still considered minors. And they would have to do a certification hearing to certify them as adults. But they could not automatically make them adults. So when I was in law school, and I saw an 8-year-old come in with handcuffs behind his back because he threw rocks at a house, I said, Just Us System was literally born in my head as soon as I saw it. So my goal for Just Us System was to build a new pipeline to make the school to prison pipeline obsolete.
Absolutely.
And the new pipeline is going to law school. Now there's some kids that decide that they don't want to go to law school at the end, and then they say, hey, I want to be an engineer, or I want to go to medical school. Whatever it is fine, but we're on that pipeline to success. Yes. So my grandpa and my grandma, both of them are college educated, and they put me on the pipeline to success. So it was basically impossible for me to fail at that part. And if you look at most of my clients that are incarcerated, their parents were incarcerated. Most of my adult clients that are incarcerated, they were in juvenile detention. So that's the pipeline that they were on. So we have to stop it. And then another thing I thought about back then was detention. You have in-school detention, out-of-school detention. When I go to the courts and they have the jails, they call it detention. It's the same thing.
As a jail.
It's the same thing. They call it, it's the Jackson County Detention Center downtown.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Wow.
So that's what jail is. So we have to, that's my lens was really, really broad.
Yes.
But it's, like I said, it just developed.
But
like
very
that.
natural for you.
Very
like,
natural.
Yeah.
And I literally knew I could take an 8-year-old and put him on the right pipeline.
Absolutely.
The issue is when we wait until they get a certain age.
Yeah.
Because I don't have like scientific proof, but just from working with all the people I've worked with, I have an age that I feel like once they're past that age, you probably can't change it.
Is it 12?
No, I actually think it's like 24.
Okay.
I actually think that.
Okay.
Because you know what? A lot of the teenagers that I meet that have even been accused of killing people, robbing, and you meet them, they're children.
Yeah.
They're children.
They have a mindset of a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And honestly, they're just repeating everything.
Yeah.
They're repeating what they saw. They're repeating what they're exposed to. So I believe that you can change kids, but I believe that you have to do it early. And I could literally point you to every single crime that they've talked about children doing in this community.
Yes.
And I can show you where it started.
Wow.
I call it the domino. And if you could get it right early,
yes,
and fix them and put them off that pipeline,
yes,
then it wouldn't happen.
Yes.
So I mean, even when people talk about Sean Brady, who got killed, right? I didn't like the fact that I know why that story got as much traction, because this happens every single day in our community.
Yes.
But what I realized was the kids that were being accused of that, they had been in the system before. They haven't received resources. Because let's be clear, juvenile court is not supposed to be like adult court, but they're making it like that. Juvenile court is supposed to be kind of like social service.
Yes, yes.
Because a lot of these kids that are in there, sometimes they're in the court for truancy. Sometimes they're in the court because they're homeless. Like sometimes, so that it's like a broad family court. We have Jackson County Family Court.
Okay.
It's supposed to be like solving issues for these kids, but instead we're just pointing to them and saying you're wrong, and not helping them.
Wow.
You would be surprised as how many homeless kids we have.
Wow.
How many kids don't have food? How many kids don't have a family? How many kids literally need help? And instead of them getting the help, they fend for themselves.
And then they get criminalized.
So that's what I mean, that 8-year-old that you see coming in, for us to look at him and to just punish him, because that's our system.
Yes.
We have a system of punishment.
Yes.
That's not helping society, and I can guarantee that that's actually going to hurt society down the line. And that's how that cycle goes.
Wow.
But if we could stop it, so Justice was supposed to be like taking that and stopping it there and saying no.
Yes.
Before it gets bad, before it gets to a heinous crime.
Yes.
Let's help these kids.
Yes.
But you know what they say when I say I want to help kids?
What do they say? That
we're rewarding bad behavior. That they don't deserve that.
Wow.
That
so they don't deserve a fair chance.
No. Because they made a mistake as a child.
Wow.
How many of us have made mistakes?
Oh, wow.
So they make one mistake and they think they should not get any think about that's what detention is. Yeah. You make a mistake, go to detention. Wow. So I'm like, it doesn't make, like, logically for me, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense after I studied the criminal justice systems.
Yes.
It didn't make sense after I studied law school.
Yes.
And it didn't make sense once I started practicing law.
Yes.
So I'm coming from that lens. Wow. I know people think that they know kind of like what, like, these kids we just need to lock them up. That's not the answer. It's not.
That's not the answer.
It's not. So we have kids that have been working with us for years and that graduated and went to college, maybe UMKC or UMSL, or we have Missouri State, and then they get this opportunity to go work at the Super Bowl. Wow. But we give them that piece. Yes. Because they have to have something to look forward to.
Yes.
For me, I had to have a goal on the wall to hit.
Yes.
If I didn't have that, that's when you're helpless.
Yes.
That's when you're,
yes,
in your mind, I'm worthless. So what's the point?
What is the point?
What's the point of me doing anything?
Absolutely. Yes. Yes.
So I look at the kid thing like they're children.
Yes.
I know people want to look at them like they're not just because of what they did.
Yeah.
But if you sit across from them in a
and have a
jail
conversation
or in a court, you're gonna see this is a
kid.
child who did something.
Wow.
And you know, you raise kids.
Yeah.
Your kids will do anything.
Yeah.
And you like, why did they do that? They don't know.
Yeah.
They don't know. They just did it.
They just did it. Yeah.
And it's like, wow. And you ask them why they did it. They don't have a reason. They do not have a reason why they did it.
I don't know. That brain ain't developed.
It's not developed. They don't know, well, I did it because I've been abused my whole life and I don't have food and I'm doing this and I'm doing that.
Yes.
So the only thing I can do is that they cannot communicate.
Yes.
That's why they have to have, I think, I ain't gonna say psych evals, but psych evals, because we have mental health, then you have intellectual health.
Okay.
So you got intellectual disabilities.
Okay. Yes.
And a lot of the kids that are in detention, juvenile detention, they have an intellectual disability.
Yes.
Where you think that they know what's going on, and
they really don't. Yeah. Yes.
It breaks my heart. Like I honestly, when I see these issues and I'm talking to a kid, I see them trying to figure out why they did this or why this is happening or what can they do. And I'm like, this is so sad because they don't know.
Wow. Now, Natasha, how can parents get their kids involved in your organization?
That's a little tricky because we normally have a thing that we put out, like a link that parents typically sign up. And then we select the kids. But now we're working on a different process for 2025. This is our 10th year.
Wow!
Yeah.
Congratulations!
Thank you.
So wait, you going to law school and building a nonprofit all at the same time?
Yes, it was 2 weeks after I graduated law school. I started it.
Wow!
I didn't have $1. I didn't have one dime.
Wow.
I had everything that I learned.
Yes.
And I said I was going to give it to these kids.
Yes.
And we got recognized downtown at the city council, I believe. With the mayor and the different council people. So we have Just Us Day coming up. It's June 1st. And so that's just to celebrate our 10 years.
Yes.
And now I'm trying to recalibrate what it's going to look like to help get people in.
Gotcha.
So that's why it's a little tricky for 2025. We're trying to recalibrate it so that we can take on more. So we're just in the building phase right now.
Gotcha.
But I go to the schools, I go to high schools, I go to the middle schools because we actually start at 13. Because we believe that from 13 through 18 is the most critical time.
Yes.
And it's the time that they need these other programs in addition to their regular extracurricular activities.
Yes.
And then as far as kids under 13, I go to the grade schools and I go and speak to them as well. So
nice.
That's why I'm trying to figure out ways to help more.
Yes.
But not that it would take so much more manpower to do it.
Yes, absolutely it would. Yes. Wow. That's amazing.
Thank you.
It really is. You know, and I always say it is so up to us.
That's why I called it just us.
Just us.
Because I said we can't wait for them. We can't wait for politicians. We can't wait for celebrities. It's just us. It's just us.
I love it. It's so fitting. Wow. I know your grandpa and your grandma and your mom and dad are extremely proud of you.
They are. They really are.
They should be. Yes.
I basically just followed the plan.
Yes.
And that's why I said that I wanted to make Just Us kind of like how my grandpa was. Because I couldn't fail because of him.
Yes.
I see people, like I said, if I talk to a client and he don't know how he got here, he's 19 and he's going to prison, he's like, my dad, and I speak to his dad went to prison, and he tells me his dad went to prison. It's just a paradigm.
It is.
Same thing with cooking. Your mom cooked.
Yeah.
You're cooking.
Yeah.
Your daughter's gonna cook.
Yeah.
It's just gonna go down the line.
Yes.
So it's like interrupting the pattern of what we don't want.
Yes. Yes.
That's all. I don't feel like I'm more special than anybody. I don't feel like I'm more intelligent than anybody. This is just the life that I was born into.
Yes.
The paradigms, the ideas, the
Yes.
ideologies, and I just followed it.
Yes.
Because if you looked at my high school, I went to Hazelwood East.
Okay.
You know, none of us were supposed to be successful out of that school. That school was
Absolutely.
not a college prep
Mhm,
school. It was not.
mhm.
It was not that.
Yes.
It was go to McDonald's, go here, go there.
Mhm,
That was
mhm, mhm.
They didn't believe that we were going to do this.
Exactly.
College didn't believe it. So
Yes.
in order for kids to actually excel, they have to have people outside of those
Yeah.
structures
That believe in it.
that believe in it.
Yes. Yes.
And I never thought for 1 second that I
Mhm.
wasn't going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yes.
so that's why I'm like, when I did hear from coaches or whatever that I can't see you as an attorney, the way you talk, the way you act,
Yes.
things like that, I always thought it sounded weird.
Yes. It's like, what are you
because
talking about?
I knew I was going to do it.
Absolutely.
So I want to give my
Wow.
kids,
That's
and when I say my kids,
yes, I know exactly what you mean.
my students,
Yes.
I want to give them that confidence to know
Absolutely.
that they can do it, because life is hard.
Life
If
is
life is hard for us, how do people think it's still for these kids?
absolutely, absolutely.
They have to go to school every day,
Every day.
watching this.
Yes. Yes.
Are
yes.
you going to the city council meetings and stuff
Oh
like
yeah.
that?
Oh yeah.
So they know you.
oh
already.
yeah. They know me.
They
yes.
know you.
Yeah.
They've
Oh
been
yeah.
knowing you
Right.
for they've been doing it for some years. I know y'all know her. But that's
When
good
they-
because it shows that change can be made.
And that's what I
By
say to
just-
people when you get involved on the
When you get
local
involved.
level. You
Local means I said that local is more important.
can. This is what
I
affects
feel like
us immediately.
it's more important locally.
You can pick up the phone, or you can go downtown. And
can.
you are one step away from the person who's connected to making decisions. Why wouldn't you get involved? I remember when they had the groundbreaking ceremony for the new property here on the corner called 19 Vine.
Yeah.
And so, I got an invitation. I'm there. Yes. And so I'm sitting there right before Mayor Q is, he's getting ready to talk, and we make contact. And the first thing he said, Ms. Johnson, he said, we've had some interesting conversations. I said, yes, we have, son. And he said, y'all, and I'm just going to tell you, when Ms. Johnson calls me, he said, and I know it's not disrespect, but she talks to me like I'm her son. And he said, we hear you, and we are working to move in the right direction.
Yeah.
He said, so what do you think about this?
Okay.
And, I'm like, I'm so thrilled. And I'm
So do
so
you
happy.
feel like we're moving in the right direction here?
I believe that we are.
Okay.
I believe that, there's a thin line in moving into right direction and gentrification. So that is something that we're going to have, to be careful of.
Yeah.
But, even something as simple as getting cameras up everywhere.
Because in St. Louis we have that. So
Yeah.
that was another thing. I'm like, why are there no cameras outside?
Yes. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
public streets.
It's public streets.
So record it.
Yeah. So now we got cameras all up and down. But
Yeah.
we didn't used to have
and
that.
we have them on. Yeah.
And business owners, when stuff would happen, would say, oh, my cameras aren't working.
Yeah. Because, and I'm like, I don't know if they didn't pay the cameras that time or if they just didn't.
They don't want to give over that information.
Yeah, because it might have some
Because
other
if
stuff.
there's
Because
some...
when you get there, that's what I was gonna say. When you give away the access,
Yes.
they can scroll through all those
All of
hours of recording.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And so it is, and again, just us. I mean,
Yeah.
if we're not fighting for us,
Yeah.
we have to.
Yeah, and I just really believe in grassroots stuff.
I do too.
So that's why I want to recalibrate it, and because I don't want it to become something else.
Yes.
I'm like, the main goal of this is just touching these kids.
Absolutely.
And making sure that they have access and opportunities to success.
Absolutely.
So
Because our kids are brilliant.
They are.
Oh my
I mean, they're geniuses.
Yes.
Even when you talk to them from 5 and up.
Yes.
So I know that they need support.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Natasha, before we wrap this up, I want you to tell people, again, how you can be of service to them as attorney Natasha Scruggs, and and being with Roderick C. White's firm, because we want people to know, because we do this because y'all, I love to eat and I want y'all to try these recipes, but we have Natasha here who comes with information and resources that you can use, and maybe not you, but you know, your friends, your uncles, your daddies, somebody could possibly benefit from the information and resources that you bring.
Yeah.
So please share with our viewers before we wrap it up.
Yeah, so like she said, I work for the law offices of Roderick C. White. And this is a Black-owned law firm that has been in this community for the past 15 years, actually over 15 years. And so primarily we focus on a couple practice areas. The first one is personal injury. So that's when you get into an accident.
Mm-hmm.
People have heard my boss's commercials on the radio, seen it on TV, seen his face different places. But as a Black-owned law firm, we have some challenges because, you know, these other firms that don't really care about our community, aren't really in our community, they're doing practices that, like sometimes you can get into an accident, they'll send you a letter. That's unethical, but they do it. And so people are going to these other firms who, like I said, they're only treating us like a dollar sign. So the law offices of Roderick White, we actually really care about our community. We're in this community and we're of this community. And so we help get the maximum settlement for our clients because we see them as a whole. You know, a lot of times you get in an accident, you might have PTSD. You might have anxiety. We want to get that stuff. We want to help you with that. You know, we want to make sure you get compensated for that.
Absolutely.
And we want to make sure that you're not taken advantage of by these police departments. If the police report isn't done right, by the insurance companies, or by, like I said, these other law firms. So that's why we're getting out here in the community, letting people know that if you get into an accident, definitely call us.
Absolutely.
And then the other stuff that we're doing is we're doing criminal defense. So like I talked to you about, I've been studying criminal defense since I went to college. So we do adult defense, and we do juvenile defense.
Okay.
So if you get into a trouble, get into an accident. Sorry. If you get into an incident, I don't know why I said accident. If you get even a traffic ticket, call us because we're going to help you with that. We don't judge our clients. When our clients come in, like I said, we're having a holistic view. And our main goal is to get the absolute best outcome for our clients. So we fight vigorously for them. We win for a lot of our clients. And like I said, we don't see our clients as a dollar sign. We don't see them as a number. We see them as a person. And it's based on Attorney White. He's been practicing criminals for the last 20 years. I've been practicing criminals for around 8. So since I got out of law school. But like I said, I've been studying it for over 15 years. So taking all that, combining all that together, we're definitely the best law firm. If there's a criminal defense issue, if there's a traffic ticket issue, and like I said, personal injury, if you get into an injury, we're going to make sure you get the right. Because it's, you know, people don't even know. A lot of us are underinsured. And you can get hit by somebody who doesn't have insurance. And then now, your insurance, if you only have maybe the minimum policy, your insurance might not even want to give you that. So we're fighting to make sure, no, give them that full policy. Not just based on them going to the hospital. But like I said, these other issues. Some of my clients, they're scared to drive again. They have to get in the Uber. Or they're like, I can't get on the road. And see, a lot of us, we've been taught to just stomach that and just push through. And it's like, no, that's a problem that the insurance company should pay for. So yeah, we're gonna be, people are gonna start seeing us a little bit more.
I love it.
But we've been focused on just doing the work, but now we're just coming out more to let people know. Definitely call law offices of Roderick White. IGotYou.net. So I love it. And that's what we always say. Anything happen, I got you.
I love it.
And even if you have an issue that's outside of that, call us. We'll talk to you, and I'll definitely figure out a way to help you or to point you in the right direction.
I love that. And we'll make sure we put all of that information up. Kansas City, because we need it. You know, we need access, and we need access to people who know how to make it happen. Okay. So thank y'all so much for watching today. Natasha, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it.
I appreciate the
You are a breath of fresh air. You really are.
Thank you.
You are welcome. Thank you. And when you try this smash burger, make sure you take a picture and tag me.
Okay, I will. I will definitely do that.
Peace out, y'all. Have a wonderful rest of the day. Thank you.